There is a book that can destroy a chef's career overnight. Not a scandal, not a lawsuit, a book. 1 star and reservations flood in. 2 stars and your restaurant becomes a destination. 3 stars and people fly across continents just to sit at your table. Lose a star and some chefs have wept publicly. Some have handed it back. One chef, it is said, took his own life because he could not bear the shame. This book has that kind of power. Now, what if I told you it was invented by a tire company? Not as a side project, not as charity, not by accident, as a cold, calculated business strategy, designed by a rubber manufacturer in a small French city who needed people to drive more cars, so they would wear out more tires, so they would buy more rubber. The Michelin Guide, the most powerful document in the food world, was never really about food. It was about selling tires. And that single idea, dreamed up in 1900 by a man named Édouard Michelin, tells you everything you need to know about how one of the greatest industrial empires in history was built. Not by making a better product, by making people want a different life. The year is 1889, Clermont-Ferrand, France. A small rubber goods company, founded decades earlier by Édouard's grandfather, is quietly struggling. Then 2 brothers step in. Édouard Michelin and his brother André take control of the family business. Their first major challenge arrives almost immediately. A cyclist shows up at their factory with a damaged tire on his bicycle. It takes the Michelin workers hours to fix it, because the tire is glued directly to the wheel. Édouard looks at this and thinks, this is absurd. What if the tire could be removed? What if it could be repaired in minutes, not hours? Within weeks, Michelin had designed the first detachable pneumatic tire for bicycles. It sounds simple. It was revolutionary. Because suddenly the bicycle became practical, not just a toy for the wealthy, a genuine machine for transportation. France fell in love with cycling, and Michelin was right at the center of it. But Édouard was not thinking only about bicycles. He was watching something new rolling down the streets of Paris, something loud, unreliable and magnificent. The automobile. In 1895, the automobile was a joke. Not a metaphor, literally a joke. Parisians laughed at them. They broke down constantly, the roads destroyed them, and the tires, solid rubber, inflexible, brutal, made every journey a punishment. Édouard Michelin saw something different. He saw the future. That year, he entered a car fitted with Michelin pneumatic tires into the Paris-Bordeaux-Paris race, a grueling 1,200-kilometer round trip. The car finished. It was not competitive. It stopped 9 times to change tires. But that was not the point. The point Édouard was making publicly and loudly was this: pneumatic tires work on automobiles. The technology is real. The future is rubber. Michelin poured everything into automobile tires. While other manufacturers hesitated, while the establishment laughed, Michelin was building factories, training engineers, and perfecting vulcanization techniques. When the automobile industry exploded in the early 1900s, Michelin was ready. While competitors scrambled to scale up, Michelin already had the infrastructure, the expertise, and the reputation. First mover advantage, built on stubbornness and vision. 1900. France has fewer than 3,000 cars. Édouard Michelin sits down with his brother André, and they ask a question that sounds almost absurd. How do we get more people to drive? Because more driving means more tires. More tires means more revenue. More revenue means more investment. The logic is circular and ruthless. Their answer was simple. Give drivers a reason to go somewhere. They printed a small red book, free of charge, handed out at tire shops, petrol stations, and garages across France. Inside were maps, petrol stations, mechanics who could repair tires, places to eat, and places to sleep. The Michelin Guide. It was not philanthropy. It was not culture. It was infrastructure for desire. Give people maps and destinations, and they would drive. If they drove, their tires would wear out. If their tires wore out, they would need new ones. André Michelin said it plainly. This guide was born with the century and will last as long. He was right. Though neither brother could have predicted that a century later, the guide's restaurant ratings would be more famous than the tires themselves. While André managed marketing and culture, Edouard was obsessed with manufacturing. The Clermont-Ferrand factory became one of the most advanced industrial facilities in Europe. Edouard believed in vertical integration, the idea that you should control every step of your supply chain. Michelin did not just make tires. Michelin controlled rubber plantations. Michelin built its own machinery. Michelin trained its own engineers from scratch. He built an entire ecosystem around the product, because dependency on outside suppliers was a vulnerability he refused to accept. Inside the factory, Michelin pioneered something else: worker welfare as industrial strategy. Company housing, company schools, healthcare for workers and their families. This was not purely altruistic. Edouard understood that a stable, healthy, educated workforce produced better tires. It was paternalistic by modern standards. But in the industrial France of the early 1900s, it was extraordinary. Workers did not just work for Michelin. In many cases, they lived inside a world Michelin built. The company became a city within a city. Then came the First World War. Michelin pivoted completely. The factories that built tires began building aircraft. Edouard personally financed reconnaissance planes, published aerial photography guides for the military, and turned Michelin's industrial capacity toward the war effort. After the war, his eldest son was killed in a plane crash. The grief was profound. But Edouard did not retreat. He pushed further. The 1920s brought a new challenge. The American automobile industry, led by Henry Ford, was producing cars at a scale Europe could not match. Edouard studied Ford's production methods obsessively. He did not copy them. He adapted them. The Michelin factory in Clermont-Ferrand was redesigned around principles of flow and efficiency, a European version of Fordism, filtered through French engineering culture. Output doubled, quality improved. The company grew into a multinational, with factories in Belgium, the United States, and Argentina. A rubber company from a small French city had become a global industrial force. Edouard Michelin died in 1940. He had started with a struggling family rubber business and built one of the most recognizable brands on earth. But the legacy goes deeper than brand recognition. Think about what Michelin actually did. By making tires reliable and removable, Michelin made the bicycle accessible, and with it, personal mobility for ordinary people. By betting on the automobile before almost anyone else, Michelin helped accelerate the age of the car, the infrastructure, the culture, and the freedom of movement that defined the 20th century. By creating the Michelin Guide, the company invented destination travel, the idea that you drive somewhere specifically to eat, to experience, to explore. Tourism as we know it owes something to a tire company's marketing strategy. And by building an industrial ecosystem around its workforce, housing, education, healthcare, Michelin influenced how European companies thought about the relationship between employer and employee. One company, one family, 5 decades, and the fingerprints are everywhere. The Michelin Man, that white, lumpy, cheerful figure made of stacked tires, is one of the oldest brand mascots in history. Created in 1898, still running today. There is something almost philosophical about him. He is made of the thing the company sells. He exists to make you trust the product. He has been selling tires for over a century, and most people who see him think of restaurant stars. That is the Michelin story in one image. A company so committed to making people move, to making people go somewhere, to making the world navigable, mobile, and connected, that its marketing outlasted its marketing. The guide became culture. The mascot became legend. The tires became the standard. Edouard Michelin did not set out to change the world. He set out to sell rubber. But he understood something that most manufacturers never grasp. You do not just sell a product, you sell the life the product makes possible. And when you get that right, everything else follows.